I'm gonna do a couple videos today. I'm gonna put this one up first, and then I'm gonna talk about some more Xbox third party rumors that are out there. I'm gonna talk about that a little bit later. So if you're watching this right behind this, I'll try to have another video up before the day is out. So be on the lookout for that as well. This video we're going to talk about the Hunter, the wireless controller from Retro Fighters. We're going to talk about a full review. I did an unboxing, and I want to tell you guys this is probably the best. This is probably the greatest controller I've played with outside of maybe like the Sega Saturn, the small Sega, not the small Sega Saturn, but the Sega Saturn 2 controller, or maybe the Xbox 360 controller. I think this one surpasses the Xbox 360 controller, guys. I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of people talk about the PS4. A lot of people talk about those other controllers. Yes, those are great, but I put the Saturn and the Xbox 360 controller in the high regard. Those are my favorite controllers. But I think this one is just like an enhanced version of the 360 controller. This controller right here plays very well. I've been playing it on my original Xbox. I played it on the Switch, and I also played it on the PC. And I'm gonna give you my thoughts and opinions about all three of those. So if you don't mind, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I really appreciate you guys for supporting the channel. We are moving up in the subscriber count because of you guys. You guys are watching more, and I really, really thank you. First and foremost, this Retro Fighters controller feels absolutely amazing. It feels great in the hands. I mean, you cannot. I mean, there's something about this controller you just cannot beat. I'm gonna be honest with you. It doesn't feel as sturdy and as hard and as abrasive as the PS4 controller. It has like this mix of comfortability and I don't want to sound weird, but softness. Like it feels like it confines to your hand very well. The PS4 controller was kind of, rigid in some cases. It did feel comfortable, but it was still rigid. It didn't feel like it was hugging your hands as you was hugging it as well. That's just my opinion. So I know some people may think differently. As far as the 360 or the Xbox One or the Xbox Series controller, I really feel like those controls are the same. So I'm talking about 360. I'm pretty much talking about the other ones. Now, when it comes to the 360 controller, it didn't have these buttons at the top right here, like these. Like these buttons feel more like an Xbox One controller, like this, the Xbox One controller. And you can see like the difference right here. It's still a bit of difference as far as the triggers, but they feel pretty much the same. So to me, it just feels like a more enhanced version of what you have in the Xbox One or the Xbox Series controller. It just feels a little more comfortable. Now, as far as playing games, now I played the original Xbox. Obviously, this is what it was made for initially. That, from my understanding, these Hall sensor, I think these are Hall sensor control thumbsticks. These things here, they feel absolutely amazing when you're playing a game like Forza, or if you're playing let's say for instance Project Gotham Race, like any racing game. You definitely feel the difference of using, those these thumbsticks. You're playing a game that primarily uses them, you're going to feel like a very smooth experience, unlike the, let's say, the other original Xbox controller, the controller S. The thumbsticks make it was kind of loose. I don't know if it's because of a long, decades of wear and tear, but it just felt like you moved the sticks and the movement was like almost automatic. Now you have to gradually move the sticks, like if you want to make a turn, or let's just say, for instance, if you want to do any, fast movements, you're going to get more responsiveness. And I think that's what you get out of this a little bit more than the actual controllers. And it really just feels like if you're playing an original Xbox game, it more feels like you're playing an original Xbox game with a next gen controller. And I think that's probably like the best way to put it. And the responsiveness is just really good. There's no lag. There's nothing of that nature. Is really good to know that, hey, this just feels like a much more quality controller. It was something that I really enjoyed, playing with the original Xbox. Now, when it came to, let's just say, the PC or even the Switch, one thing I didn't get correctly, and I want to talk about that. I'll talk about playing on the Switch first, because I know a lot of people want to think about, using this for the Switch, if you have it. This thing right here is the USB C uh cord. Now you don't plug this in to that to the switch for it to work. I left this out in the unboxing. They have this dongle right here that I actually see. Cause see, the original time I talked about this dongle, this one that goes to the original Xbox, and I thought you plug it in right here, and that's how you would get your your wired version. No, they have this right here that came in the box as well. I kind of overlooked it. Take this off, and it's a USB. So this is what you'll plug into the Switch, or you'll plug into your PC, and that's how you would pair them up based on the instructions in the booklet. Using this for the Switch, I used it on, like, say, Mario 3D World. I used it for Mario Kart 8. I also used it for some of the retro games, and that's something really interesting for me. Using this on some of the retro games on the I guess you can call it the eShop virtual console type thing they have. The D-pad worked pretty well. I mean, obviously it's not like your Nintendo D-pad. I mean that D-pad is absolutely amazing for those games, and it's definitely not like the Saturn D-pad, which is probably the best D-pad in my opinion that was ever created. But this D-pad works fairly well. I don't necessarily would recommend it overall because it's just not the D-pad for those type of retro style games. I mean, some people use it. It's not just for me. I just don't recommend it. But for the other games, the 3D games, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, those games that uses these, perfect. This is a great controller to have, and especially for Mario Kart 8, because Mario Kart 8, these, even though you press, well, on here it's B, but it's A for the Nintendo Switch. Using these buttons feel really great, using them. So it's really awesome to have that. Now for PC, if you're a PC gamer, you'll feel right at home. Your Logitech controllers, your Xbox controllers, it feels no different for any of these. Now I think the joysticks, the thumbsticks are a little bit better, but you can't go wrong either way. I mean, you're almost playing like it's pretty much nothing. It's an Xbox controller at the end of the day. So I think the only thing that will set this a little bit above the rest is this bottom part right here. Do you see how it's concave in here? It's like, so when you hold it, it feels like you have a better grip. It kind of reminds me a little bit of, and I know this is a little bit different. It kind of reminds me of a GameCube feel because of how the GameCube controller has these little spots right here that actually hugs your hand, or it just feels right. It feels really good, and it kind of gives you the same type of vibe, but on a PC scale. This is an excellent controller overall. It does so much good. It went in any of these instances. You want to use it for the original Xbox, you want to use it for PC, you want to use it for the Switch. It does very well. Now I would like for this to be used on the 360 or the Xbox Series, but I don't know. They just didn't put it together. But it's more of a retro controller, but at the same time you can use it on the Switch. So but it's kind of weird. But at the end of the day, do I recommend this? Definitely, I recommend it if you're going to use this for original Xbox. No brainer. Use it for original Xbox. If you're buying this for the Switch or the PC, you can't go wrong either. They're not bad as well. I mean, it still works very, very well. But I think at the end of the day, you should just use this for the original Xbox. That's just for me. Me personally, I think this is an excellent original Xbox controller. If you have a friend come over that want to play your Switch, you have an extra controller to play with. If you want to play these games on the PC wirelessly and you don't want to use like your Xbox 360 controller, you're good to go. Like, once again, I'll show you like how this looks. This is the back of the 360 controller, and look at this controller. You see how it's more concave? I don't know what it is. That's the part that sells it for me. Like, holding it in your hand and the responsiveness of the buttons. This is a great controller. I just highly recommend it. I mean, like I said, I don't get paid for them or nothing like that. It's just my thoughts and opinions. It's just I thank you guys for I think you guys should get it. I think you should get this controller, especially if you like original Xbox. I said enough. I rambled. Hopefully I made sense because I know I'm all over the place at times, but yeah, I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna talk about more of this Microsoft stuff. Hearing Gears and Halo could be to these other, Sony or Nintendo stuff, not surprised. Not surprised. And I'm gonna give you my thoughts about that in a way that you may think it'll make sense. I'll just put it like that. But I'm gonna get out of here. You guys take it easy. I'll see you in the next one. All right, y'all. I'm out. Peace.